Yeah, I think I'm live here. So go ahead and set it up. Anthony, in case I am live. Am I live, everybody?
Looks like it.
Nah. All right. I didn't mean to flip that on. But we're live here from 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. It's great to be with you all. And I am doing the evening update with you here because we got a really busy schedule. Huge raffle going on over there at Sam's Place tonight. That, of course, is Tackle Shop Confessions. And I really can't wait to do that show tonight. I think it's like $2,000 worth of rods that will be going out tonight. So that is pretty exciting stuff. We do have some breaking news that I will get to you here in a second. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the Coronado Islands as we've been in contact with the boat and trying to ascertain exactly what's going on. As you know, the San Diego looked at the islands the other day and did not come up with any yellowtail. But today they have connected, as a matter of fact, and that is good news. 3 yellowtail, may not be big numbers, but there is a story behind all of this, and that is that Captain Matt came downstairs on board the San Diego and just fired a surface iron out there, took a couple of winds and was bit instantly. And then, of course, he's not going to catch a fish. He looked around. He saw this nice young man fishing with his grandpa. It was Chase Parker was his name. And he's all the way out here from West Lafayette, Indiana. And I got to tell you, the kid catches a fish that looks like it's pushing 40 pounds. It's a big yellow. And I dropped a short just a while ago. So if you haven't seen it, by all means, take a look at this young man and just how happy he is. You can see the smile on his face. I'll guarantee you there's a couple of other people on that boat that probably have bigger smiles than him. Number one, Matt, the captain, because, man, he made that all happen. And number two, you know Grandpa is stoked beyond belief. I mean, that is really cool. So 3 yellowtail on board the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing. Excuse me while I choked to death. The one fish pushing 40 pounds. That, according to my dear friend Gino Machino, who is on board and constantly keeping me updated from the boat. Excuse me one second. There we go, so I don't choke anymore. So really great story there. 3 fish, 1 on the surface iron, 1 on the yo-yo iron, 1 on a dropper loop, and a sardine. And this morning on the morning briefing, as you well know, I was talking about what kind of tackle to bring. And I suggested that you bring a surface iron, that you bring a yo-yo iron, and that you're ready to drop our loop. Just because during the winter time, and I know we're into spring, but we're only a few days in, those yellows like to hang down in the water column. And so I definitely want you to have a yo-yo iron. Heavy jig. The definition of a yo-yo iron is a heavy jig. You sink deep. And then the methodology, when I tell you to yo-yo your iron, it's simply winding fast on the jig. And when you get a bite, you wind through the bite. You don't rear back on the rod to set the hook. You just wind down. Keep turning the handle until that fish pulls line against the drag, and you'll be in really great shape. All right, I've got some more Baja information, a little bit of long-range information. Danny Kadota Show is coming up here shortly. Hey, Anthony, could you hand me that bag right there before we go any further? Because I've got to thank Jamie, Julian, and Jackie, 3 of the nicest people in this world. It was so nice having them with us yesterday down there at our great surf fishing event. And they went out of their way to get me a gift that I am so humbled by. This beautiful coffee cup that I definitely will be using. And it was so nice seeing the 3 of you. Nothing would make my life happier than to see you guys again really, really soon. This means so much to me. Jamie, Julian, and Jackie, thank you so very, very much. And of course, I got some other great gifts. Wayne Shima Bakoro gave me some beautiful ribeye steaks. They were absolutely delicious. I'm still working on them, by the way. He gave me like 6 beautiful ribeyes. And then Chris from Colder Ice gave me a gift certificate to go over to the Meat Palace or the Beef Palace. That's what it is. The Beef Palace, right over by my house. I can't wait to go over there. And then Lucky and his dad, JD, with all kinds of carnivore snacks, which Dan Lightfoot, he just left. He's been snacking on them with me. So I want to say thank you. Once again, that event was freaking awesome. A lot of people here. Dan says easily 200 people there. I'm going to say well over 150 people. There could have been 200. It was spectacular. So I'm going to say it one more time again. Jamie, Julian, and Jackie, you guys touch my heart. I can't thank you enough. Also, before I get into some more information and remind you all that the Danny Kadota Show is coming up at 4. Then at 6 tonight, thousands of dollars of rods will be raffled off. We'll have all that information on Tackle Shop Confessions on how you can reach Chuck and purchase, but you got to do it fast. In fact, I would hustle up and do it ASAP. I believe Chuck's going to be here at 4 for the Danny Kadota Show, so make sure you come back and tune in if you'd like to be in that drawing tonight so we can get you that information. And another thing, I think 90%, Anthony and I will be coming to you tomorrow night live from Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico. In fact, we may come to you live at the border while we're crossing for the morning briefing, just because it's going to be really dark out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I might wait to cross the border and do it with you. Maybe we'll cross up there at Tecate, maybe we'll cross at San Isidro, but we're going to have some Mexico content for you all tomorrow, if all goes as planned. And I'm thinking everything's on track here right now. I was a little worried about juggling the morning briefing and the evening briefing and the Danny Kadota Show and Tackle Shop Confessions, but we're well on our way to accomplishing that once again. Can't thank you enough. So we have that San Diego info for you. Now, we continue to see that line of yellowtail. Cabo San Lucas, there's yellowtail. There's yellowtail in La Paz. When you can get out to Cerralvo Island, make some bait, there's some big yellows there out of La Paz. In Loreto, in Mulegé. Up there in San Quintin, outstanding yellow action yesterday on board Jaime's Pongas. That was really good. Monte Carlo just come in?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe if you just ask a couple passengers how it was, that'd be great. Then I can tune you up on that. And so there's that line of yellowtail walking up the Baja coast there at San Quintin, a little bit in Ensenada. Maybe we'll get a little bit better view of that for you tomorrow. We'll be watching that very closely. My dear friend Alberto Ponce is saying good afternoon, Phil, and all watching. I hope you had a great birthday. He says to me, Albert, I had a great birthday because you were at Blackfin with your lovely wife and kids, and wish me a happy birthday from there. And you totally made my day. I really, really appreciate it.
Bunch of whitefish and sculpin.
Whitefish and sculpin on board the Monte Carlo. Anybody wants to be on live, send them in here. I'll interview them about this great, magnificent sculpin and whitefish catch. So Monte Carlo just getting back in here to 22nd Street Landing on a spectacularly beautiful day. I mean, it can't get any nicer than it is. It's beautiful out. Great springtime weather here in SoCal. Albert, thanks again. I think you're probably still down there in Mexico. If you are, let me know, because I'm thinking about shooting down there tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe we can hook up for a little bit. So once again, that line of yellows, and then you hear the Coronado Island report. We gave you that. Here in Southern California, the local scene, it's mostly sculpin, whitefish, a few sheephead here and there. Up in the Channel Islands, we continue to see some pretty darn good sheephead fishing, no doubt about that. You want to be on here? Oh, no. Okay, were you out on the Monte Carlo?
Yeah, I'm Monte Carlo.
And it was good?
That's good. Whitefish is good.
Whitefish. All right, thank you. Why don't you put your head in there? Okay. All right. Let me tell you, a little camera shy, but the gentleman came in and said, good fishing for whitefish and that kind of stuff. All City Baits, what's up, old man? That sounds like our buddy Fish out there. Fish, good to hear from you as always. So sounds like this kind of local fishing is continuing. There is a little bit of bass every once in a while, especially down there in San Diego. We've seen some pretty good bass fishing on board the San Diego. That's been pretty darn good at times. And also, we've seen some pretty darn good fishing up there out of Marina del Rey at times. But it's pretty cold water. We're in this La Nina oceanographical kind of scenario right now. And that means cold water. And it's cold. I mean, it was up in the high 40-degree range in the Channel Islands 10 days ago. It's warmed up to the mid-50s now. But man, it has been a little bit on the chilly side. No doubt about it. And it's same here. I mean, we've had 53-degree water out here at Point Frieman. That's warmed up a little bit, but just about everywhere you look, it's 55, 56, like that. And that just makes bass and other game fish really lethargic. They are very slow to react. They're kind of just like, leave me alone. I'm not even hungry kind of attitude right now. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see if it picks up as we go along. Of course, rockfish season's going to open up on April the 1st. Fish says Kim, his beautiful wife, has a gift for me. Thank you very much, Kim. I deeply appreciate that. All right, there you go. Oh, shoot, surf fishing. Kind of hit and miss still. Sand crabs starting to show up around the Manhattan Beach Fair and the Hermosa Beach Fair. Certainly down there around the Huntington Beach Fair, we see some sand crabs. I mention that because that's just part of the food chain. It gets everything going. And then another grunion run, I think it's March 29th. It's the new moon. And then after that, the full moon. And then it just rotates like that through August. New moon, you're going to get the highest tides along with the full moon. And that's when the grunion come up. And again, part of the food chain gets halibut moving up on the beach, gets so much more moving and headed in the right direction. Once again, everybody, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend. And don't forget to tick that little bell so you'll know when the Danny Kadota Show is. And you'll also know when, yes, sir. Oh, my God. Let's check it out. How are you? Good to see you. Show the camera right there, if you could. Yeah. Well, we can kind of see it in there. You guys want to be on the show live? ¿Ustedes hablan español o inglés? Ah, perfecto. Siéntate por un segundito o no. ¿Quieres?
Entrevista.
Ok, por supuesto que sí. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo se llama? Luis. ¿Y tú?
Andrés.
Andrés. Perfecto. Mis hermanos, ¿cómo le fue hoy?
Bien. Más o menos.
Ajá, más o menos. ¿Y bien? ¿Cuál es?
A mí bien.
¿Cuántos pescados pescaron hoy?
¿Cuántos traes tú? Yo, 10.
10. Este bolsa se ve lleno a mí.
10.
Esta es una vieja, ¿verdad? Cuidado con la esposa, con las viejas.
¿Es una vieja al pescado o él?
Creo que él. Ok, mis hermanos, gracias. Ustedes están en vivo ahora. Y este es el canal aquí, que se llama Friedman Adventures. Entonces, cuando regresa a la casa, pueden ver. Ustedes son estrellas, ya.
Okay.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Ok, gracias. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos. Ok, nuestros hermanos here. Yeah. Some really great guys. They had a nice sack of fish. You see that? Really a big sack of fish as those guys were on board the Monte Carlo today. And they understood my terrible Spanish. Actually, my Spanish is pretty good because I got a wife that doesn't speak English. So there you go. Dan, good job, man. Those were great guys. They had a nice sack of fish. The cranker's here.
Seen the one they had outside, man.
They
There was
took your
some
sign
big
off.
fish.
Oh, man, why didn't they bring that in here?
Yeah, but he didn't want to come in.
Oh, shoot. All right, folks, there you have it. What else can I tell you? I think we are good here. If you have a question, please send it my way. But 4 o'clock, just about a half an hour from now, the Danny Kadota Show. It's going to be great. Danny's the best. He'll have a great show for you. And then at 6, huge raffle. You'll get details on that raffle on the 4 o'clock show with Danny. I believe Chuck Zimmer is going to be here. You never know. The president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, and we're going to call him the president of Z Custom Rods. He's the president of just about everything nowadays. So really, really good stuff. Nice that those gentlemen stopped by. Really had a nice sack of fish. Looks like they did well on the Monte Carlo today out of 22nd Street Landing. A little bit of halibut around also. I know that Aaron Graham was here today. He runs the Native Sun, owns the Native Sun. And Aaron was saying, yeah, they've been picking at the halibut. It may not be wide open, but you get a chance. And it's so important that your bait maintains contact with the bottom when you're halibut fishing. So don't be afraid to put a 10-ounce sinker on there if that's what's required due to the depth and the wind and the current. You need to have your bait on the bottom. 20-pound fluoro has been working really well, and a smoking hot bait always will make a big difference. All right, my friends, have a great one. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Back at 4 with the Danny Kadota Show, and then back at 6, Sam De La Torre, Island Fishing Tqckle, Tackle Shop Confessions. Not only a great show, but a huge raffle at the end of the show, so don't delay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. I'll see you at 4 with Danny.